Hello, I'm Scott Foster. I'm Director of Sustainable Energy for the United Nations in Geneva, more specifically for the United Nations Economic Commission for Europe. I've been in this role since January of 2011, so it's been a full decade. This year we celebrated 30 years of the Committee on Sustainable Energy, so my time at ECE represents fully one-third of the total. The team has asked me, they've asked my predecessors as well, to provide a video, a snapshot on what we've achieved during our time that then covers the full 30-year period. Obviously, what we've been able to do for the last 10 years builds on what came before and presumably will be the foundation for what will come after.
To enhance participation, relevant debate, and outcomes at sessions of the committee, we launched a number of initiatives, including a dialogue on energy security, a review of energy pricing and subsidies, and the development of a framework classification for minerals and energy. The highlight was the development and implementation of the UN Framework Classification for reporting fossil energy reserves and mineral resources. This required extensive groundwork with experts from member countries and non-member countries, as well as numerous consultations with various international bodies. The Economic and Social Commission, a senior body of the UN, adopted two resolutions encouraging all UN member countries to implement the framework classification. Our activities enhanced cooperation among countries in the region and encouraged the adoption of policy measures and investments to further improve the efficient use of energy. In the field of natural gas, we were able to establish the UNECE Gas Center. It was fully funded by private and state-owned natural gas companies. With this funding, we were able to hire professionals as well as support staff to conduct a comprehensive program of work for well over a decade. The center's greatest achievement was to assist governments and corporations in economies in transition to transform their natural gas markets and corporate structures to a more market-oriented type of economy rather than a centrally planned one. In conclusion, I'd like to commend member countries for supporting the Sustainable Energy Program. I would also like to acknowledge the dedication and hard work of the staff of the division during my tenure as director.
I'm Klaus Brendow. I worked for the ECE during the Cold War, some 27 years. And if you ask me what was the main achievement during that period, I would say we kept the boat floating. It was a rather difficult period. I remind you of the Cuba and Berlin crisis, and during those tough times, we were the only organization that kept East and West together. What did we do? We chose subjects that were politically not sensitive, that is, we choose engineering and technical issues, where people could meet and talk about their experience in their various countries. And since that worked, after some years, we moved into structural issues, coal versus gas and oil, open cast mining versus underground mining, which touched a little bit on policy. Now, the interest of the two parties was the East wanted technical information and the West wanted to understand how 5-year plans worked in the energy field. And on that basis, we were quite successful. Usually when you retire, people forget you, and in particular, in my case, it's 20 years or so that I served ECE. So the fact that people recalled my existence and past achievements, they did good to me. It was good.
I take great pride in what we have accomplished in this sustainable energy program. I would say that we've really been moving the dial on energy for sustainable development. We've done a lot of work on high efficiency, low emissions technology. We've been working on carbon capture and storage, getting countries to accept it as a viable alternative and to start putting the policy frameworks together. We've looked at natural gas in transport with demonstrations. We've been tracking and reporting on underground gas storage. In addition, we've been making major contributions in the area of sustainable resource management with the work that we've done on the framework classification, the United Nations Resource Management System. We've got a significant initiative ongoing, which is already making a difference on high performance buildings and the built environment. And we've been doing a lot of work on industrial energy efficiency and on digitalization. So if I think about our decade, the key themes that emerge for me, the first one would be having an honest conversation about energy issues. People have been out there cheerleading for so long about let's do this and let's do that, and it all sounds nice. But it leads to conversations that aren't what I would call honest conversations. We've got to recognize that the fossil energy is 80% of the energy mix, and we're not going to be able to achieve the climate objectives. We're not going to be able to achieve energy for sustainable development if we don't recognize that. We have to have integrated solutions that deliver the results. The next area, as I've said, it's about raising our visibility and our credibility within the UN family, but also with our external players, and we've been doing that very well. A third one is a personal pet peeve, a personal agenda. It's getting recognition that the energy system that we know needs to change. We need to start recognizing energy is actually a service industry. It's not a commodity industry. All this time we've been buying and selling and producing, and I make my money by selling you more stuff. At some point that doesn't work. We can't do that forever. What we've got to do is recognize that mobility and lighting and heating and cooling are the services that we need to deliver quality of life. And once we get that in our minds, once we put that in place as the market structure, then suddenly we'll be able to say energy efficiency and quality of service and quality of life are at the heart of business models. And then investments will happen in the right way. The fourth and final area, I think, are the recognition that the future is going to be a blend of electrons and molecules. So we say we want to create a hydrogen ecosystem. That does actually mean preparing the framework for hydrogen, infrastructure, legal and physical. But it's also about renewables and renewable gases and looking at transport and other systems, heating, cooling, etc., and recognizing that it's not only electrons, it's about molecules as well. Finally, in the area of leading edge, again and again at ECE, we've broken new ground. Often the agendas are picked up elsewhere, but it's our community of experts. It's our gathering of people who can come together and concoct and develop new approaches, new so-called novel ways of doing things, and put that on the global stage. That's a huge opportunity. It's non-negligible, and I recommend that we keep that going. Thank you for your attention, and wish you all the best, and look forward to seeing you at a Geneva meeting in the near future. Bye-bye.